Okay, so what we're doing is we're getting our ordering correctly set up here. So now when I am a host, I'm going to connect here and I'm going to dequeue a song from the queue, and then I'm going to send over the received song next to the client. Now, actually, I should probably do this across the channel. So this goes to everybody out in the group. So instead, now with my channel client, what we're going to do is we're going to find the channel owner's connections. And then I want to include here their connections. And then what I want to do is, no, if I look at this again, that was not correct, because that's going to pull sometimes a lot of different connections, the legacy ones before. So we don't want to do that. What we do want to have is a get application user room connection by their user ID, right? This one gets everything by the room. But we do want to get one more of these, which is by room ID. No, by application user room ID. Like that. And in this one, we're going to get all of the connections where it's my application user ID is equal to application user ID, room ID, and it's active. Okay. And we need to return an array of these. Like that, and then we need to have a var vms equals a new list of application user room connection VM. And we're going to do an entities.forEach, and we will map it across to the application user room connection VM from my S. And then I should return my VMs.toArray. Let's add this to the context, or to the interface. So I'll just add it down here, which is called read application user room connection by application user ID. Totally correct. Okay. So now in my hub, I can get my channel owner here, VM, and now I want to get my var channel owner connections equals await my service dot that, and we want to do it for the channel owner VM dot ID, and this needs to be a application user room owner VM. And then we're going to do a for, I want to do it for the first one of the connections. If my channel owner connections dot count is greater than 0, then I want to get my first one. Only try to grab data from the first connection. The ping service will remove stale connections upon rejoining. And what I want to do is await my clients dot client of my channel owner connections of the first one dot connection ID dot send asynchronous. Now, will this return a bool? No. So I'm just going to send something here, which is request song state. And that's it. And it should be for the room ID. But we're already going to know what the room ID is, so I really don't need to pass that across. So it's just that. Okay. So in here, you can get rid of that. And in my room component now, nope, in my room service, I want to have a this.hubConnection.on receive song, nope, song state, which doesn't have anything that it's passing. I want to do a new subscription here, which is going to be called, our new subject, which is called song state request received. Right? You guys want to play some Hungry Zombies, or are you not feeling it right now? Okay, we'll do this dot my song state received dot next, and I'm going to say here received song state request. Now we need to have one here which is called a get song state request, which is an observable string. Which will return this dot song state received dot as observable. I want to also have a request song state here, which is going to pass in a song state interface, which is a interface song state request. And in this one, we want to do a if my hub connection is okay, then we want to invoke the receive song state, and we're going to pass in my song state request. Up here we need to have a function called public asynchronous task called receive song state. Also, this logic I added needs to also be on my request room. Like that. Okay. So in receive song state, I need to have a request in here in my library called a song state request. And we'll make it a public as a base request. And then we need to have in here a couple of things. One of them is a GUID here for a song queued ID. Another one in here is the GUID for the we'll say it's a string for my requester connection ID. Because they're going to be requesting to me. Hold on. Hey there, Lurs. Sorry about that delay there on that animation. If you have any questions what I'm working on, please don't hesitate to put them into the chat. Also, make sure you check us out at discord.pixelhorrorstudios.com. And we also got a game out called There Is No Turning Back on Steam. So make sure you check that one out as well. So what else do we need to know about this? Well, the song state is being called from the room in here. So we need to have what we're calling a song state subscription. And actually this doesn't go here, it goes on the YouTube component. And this is a type of subscription. And I need to say this dot song state subscription is equal to my this dot room service dot get song state request, and we're going to subscribe to that, which doesn't have any variables, and we're going to this is going to be song state like that. And now what I need to do is return these dot room service dot and it was called the well, we need to have another one in here called send song state, which needs to pass across the request, which is a iSongs state request, which is a response receive song state. And we're going to pass across the request. Looks good. So in the YouTube component, we're going to do a song state. We have a hey there, Fiddler 21E113. How are you doing? Welcome to the channel. You have any questions? Don't hesitate to put them into the chat. Want to say I'm subscribing my service here to song state, which is just a second. I just put it in the room service. It was called respond. We're going to say that this is send song state. And we need to pass in here a request. And this request is a I song state request, which is equal to, and then we don't have anything in this quite yet. So in my song state request, I'm going to want to have a couple of things. The first one is I have a song queued, which is an I song queued, right? That tells a lot of information about it right there. I don't really need to pass more than just the ID though. Song queued ID, which is a string. And then we need to have a current time, which is in a number. And then we want to have a is playing tag, which will be a Boolean. Anything else? So on this song state, I need to add in those parameters, which were we have a song queued ID, a current time, which is a float, a bool, which is playing, and then it needs to know who it's sending it to, right? So we'll work with that in just a second. So in here, my song queued ID is going to be equal to my this.songqueued.id. The current time is going to be equal to the, now I have to look at my YouTube service. And then the is playing will be equal to my YouTube service again. Is there anything else in there? No. Okay, when I look at the YouTube service, we have set player, and I'm reframing it. I have load, set, and then I have these different states. Get player state. So I'll move this over, and I'm going to say how do I get the current time? I don't see how I'm supposed to get the current time of this. So I probably need to look at the player API for that. So I'm just going to say 0 right now, and I'm going to say, or we'll say it's at 30, and the is playing will just be is also to my, we can do this dot YouTube service dot get player state. So I'll move this up, and I'm going to say var player state is equal to this, and then In this, we can add a player state. Like that, which is a player state. What did it just do? I really didn't like when I did that. We'll just say this is an integer. So a number. Hey, Dark Sharky, that's actually old. I don't have that working at the moment. I apologize. But what we do have working is this game. Oops. It's called Hungry Hungry Zombies. We'll get the game going here as soon as I get my numlock turned on. There we go. All right. Now what we can do is, if I'm looking at my song state request, and my is playing, we want to say this is equal to my this.youtube service.get player state dot value of. Will that be happy with me yet? Player state. Okay, that looks good. So over here, we're going to be passing in my it's called a song state request. And we have a song ID, the current time it is playing, which is an integer, which is called player state. And then what I want to do is I need to broadcast this out to everybody in the group. So this is coming from a, pardon me, this is coming from a room owner. It needs to be passed to the new connection. So in my onConnected, when I'm requesting my song state to my channel ID, I'm going to add right here to do we want this to go to all connections? So we got to get our votes to match there, Dark Sharky, or else you got to vote. Okay. And then when we get this, we want to send it across the pipe to just our channel ID. So we can do this to a connection context.channel connection ID, which is in my service. I'm going to get a receive song state, which is a connection ID, which is a string. And I'm going to fire this receive song state request. And I'm going to pass in my connection ID. So then in this one, we need to have a connection ID, which is a string, which needs to get assigned in YouTube. Because when I get this, I'm getting my player state. I'm getting a connection ID here, which is my connection ID is a connection ID. And then on the back end, I want this to be a okay. And then on the back end, I need this to be a receive the song state here, which needs to have a string for the connection ID. And all I'm going to do here is I'm going to do a await my clients dot client to my request dot connection ID dot send asynchronous, and it's going to be a this needs to be a receive song state request. Like that. Okay, and then on this side, it needs to be another one called a this.hub connection on receive song state, which is going to be a I, and it's a song state request, which is a I song state request. And we will do this. And on this, I'm going to say alert received song state. And I want to do a console.log for my no one's voting. Song state request. That looks pretty good. So after all that, we can give it a try. Wrong window. What I want to do is start up the backend. Looks like I forgot to say here I need to send the receive song state, and I need to send this over as a receive song state, and I need to send that over as a request. Hey there, Darky Sharky. How are you? And I'm doing my vms.add this. It was like, why is that not working? And this one here. And that doesn't matter. Let's go ahead and run it. We'll take a look at the front end. Log out, log back in. We also need to do an incognito window for this. We'll do it for a different account. So here it's going to request my next song queued, which it's failing here. So that's okay, we'll fix that in a second. But I want to check the new stuff, so give me a second to put a password in. All right. This time when I connected, it brought me into my home room, which is fine. And if I look at rooms, I see the other room here, and when I connect to it, I'm expecting to be in this room. So in my unconnected, where is it? Right? It's when you go to the new room, it should be here. It should be requesting it when you go to the new room. So when I look at the back end, on my room component, when it's initting, we're always requesting this room. And I need to look at my room service, because this is getting fired where here, when you get your subscription, and also here. Because you should be requesting the room when you're connecting and you're not. So, hold on here. Rawlings, is that a word? I think that's an author. I call BS. All right. So that one worked. It dequeued my song. And when I go into a different room here, come on, I know that you're connected. Ninja Bunny 9000, how are you doing? Thank you for that follow. Appreciate it. If you have any questions, what I'm working on, don't hesitate to put them into the chat. Oh, weird. Weird. Try it again. That was weird. It's trying to get my queued song next, and it says nope, and it errors on me. Oh, bizarre. What I need it to be doing is every time I go into rooms, I want it to run ng-init. Love now that it's working. So I'm going to do an alert here. Test ng-init. Just to see exactly when this event is firing. I know that it's happening then. I log out and I log back in. Good. I look at rooms. There, that's fine. Now I join a different room and it says good, it's going to fire it and it wants to grab that. So now what I want to do is I want to connect to the hub. Which is here. And now I want to do another alert here, which is alert this dot room code, just to see what this is all about. We'll log out and log back in. Good. We go to a different room. Okay, so that's because I need to shut down the other hub. So if this .hub connection already exists, then we need to do a this .hub connection .stop. And then this .hub connection is equal to null. Okay, we're going to let this thing reload here. We'll log out, we'll log back in. I look at the room. I was expecting it to fire here. Cannot read stop of undefined. My bad. That should fix it. Right, that's right. You should get an error here because it's erroring on me right now. And I look at rooms and I can connect here and it still says undefined. So it's definitely not setting the route. So inside of room, I'm going to go ahead and pass in here a room code, which is a string. And then here, I'm going to pass in the activated route here as this.room code. And then I also want to do this as an alert with my this.room code. And now it's working. Now I can log out and I can log in. Undefined, which is right. We look at rooms. Back end is stopped. We need to keep it going. Here we go. Liver dev trying. So it's good. Now it brought me into the correct room. Now I'm disagreeing with this. Because here, I'm no longer the owner. That was weird. Because I'm not that user. So when I go into my application user room here, the user is liver dev trying. His owner and the room is this one. But the room code is undefined, which it shouldn't be. It should be getting passed in every time. In this case, it's undefined. And this time, when I look at rooms and I join this one, my room code is undefined. So it's not passing it in as room code. Because we're never assigning it. This dot room code equals room code. So we'll run it again. And this time I get a room code which is correct. I'm going to step through it. My room is not the owner, so I should reach out and get my connections, which are 0. That's okay. The owner here is this one, and there are no connections for it, so that is being done correctly. Looks like that this died on me. And we'll do it again. room component says line 42, this room code. All right, here we go. My room code is liver dev trying. I am the owner. I thought, that's okay. We'll find out what's happening. We're not in a room. Let me log in here. All right. So if I go to rooms, we need to log in here as the other user. Good. And it'll try to get my room code here, which will be undefined, which is perfect. And it is the owner, so we're going to try to DQ a song which is null, and then we'll play the received song null. And in this one now I'm going to connect. And I should get the room code, and I do. And then is it the owner is no, so I'm going to get my connections, which is 1. And then I'm going to send my request song state request. Which is it's called receive song state request. But you're requesting it right now, right? Receive song state request. And then also I'll change that one up here to receive song state request, and I'll rerun it. Log out, log in. Log out, log in. Okay, everything's looking good. We go to rooms. We go to this room. I join it. It's going to say that I go to that room, which it does. I'm not the owner, so I'm going to get my connections, which are 1. So I sent it across the pipe to the receive song state request, which should have done this, which was in here as a interesting why that was there. Just a second. I don't see where you're ever doing the... Because you should be doing this send song state, which is in here. You have a song state description, subscription in here. And you're going to do an alert here, which is going to say, sending song state. We'll try it again. So we'll log out, we'll log in. That's working good. And then we'll go to rooms here. Log out and log in this one. Then we'll join this one. Sending song state. We're getting closer. Is it because this is null? It's probably because this is null, because you don't currently have a song that's playing. So we got to fix that. But let's see, it's like 2 o'clock here. I've been going for quite a long time. Let's see, is this thing gonna take? Probably not, huh? Oh no, it's working good. So I'm gonna call it for now. I might be back later today, but probably first thing in the morning, 5:30 a.m. So we've been going for a good amount of time today. Thanks so much for staying with me. I will see you guys in the morning. Any advice on staying motivated with learning programming? Just keep trying to learn new things and just always keep trying to learn, because like programming is like you just gotta continue to want to learn more. So thanks so much, guys. I will see you in the morning, or maybe later today, but have a great one, and I'll see you a little bit. Bye.